tired of people being stupid. That has nothing to do with any of the makeup that I'm talking about right now. It's just tired of people being stupid. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is hautemesstom and thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you are new here, my channel is all about loving our makeup collections as they currently are, being critical of new makeup releases, which is what we're going to do here today, and being very considerate about what we're bringing into our makeup collection. If you are new here and that type of content sounds good to you, I would love to have you subscribe, so go ahead and do that right now. Always appreciate a like on this channel, and I am on Patreon as well if you would like to support me there. So we're trying something new. If you're an older subscriber, you know that we've never had the microphone in frame. I was like, maybe we'll try something, and if you hate it, we can take it out in the next video. But sometimes my audio, whenever the microphone is a little bit further away and out of frame, like typically it's like just out of frame, I think my audio is like not as good. So I'm hoping this picks up what I want it to and not everything that's kind of circulating around my room. Anyway, Critical Sass. This is an episode of Critical Sass. Critical Sass is where I talk about new makeup releases. I go through the Instagram posts of Trend Mood 1, Beauty News, Chic Profile Official, and Makeup Release Radar. I talk about anything that I feel inspired by, either positively or negatively, obviously critical and sassy. But if they deserve credit, I'm going to give the credit where the credit is due, babe. But we are not going to sit here and say that all of these are good releases. And I'm going to try to, like, if I do like a release, I'm going to talk about maybe why I don't need it or maybe why I should buy it. But the whole idea is to take a step back, look at the releases and decide whether or not they're really a good release or not. So basically it's my version of a new makeup release video. So if that sounds like something that you would want, just stick around. We're going to do it. So I'm going to open up Trend Mood first, and I'm going to scroll through. Typically, when I do Critical Sass, I save some posts so I can talk about specific things. So basically, I've just made editing harder for myself and not harder for you to watch. That's the goal. The goal is never to make my videos harder for you to watch, unless you don't like me, and then maybe that makes them hard for you to watch. But if that's the truth, don't watch my content. That's all you have to do. Go find someone else, babes. So I'm going to talk about, like, obviously newest releases to older releases. And there are a couple brands I don't talk about on my channel, so if you don't hear me talk about them, that's why. Because there's a specific brand that releases, like, things every day that I don't like talking about. I'm over it. I saw this release and I just, like, let's talk about it. So there's the nostalgia playlist Let's Make Up CD inspired eyeshadow palette by Nosta Beauty. So I saw this first, and whenever I first saw it, the CD was actually like in the container, and I thought, oh, like that's a really cool concept. But the circle actually does remove from the insert, which is very funny. And the playlist is Believe, Wannabe, I'm Blue, Dilemma, Crazy, Hypnotize, and there's a song Gone and Heartbreaker, who I don't know the artists that are supposed to be the inspiration, but I could guess that it's Believe by Cher, I'm Blue, WD. Anyway, so inspirationally, I think that this is a very fun concept and a very fun format for an eyeshadow palette. When I look at the eyeshadow shade selections, like none of this is inspiring to me. It kind of reminds me, I don't know. It's like it has some neutrals and it has like fun pops of color. So you could do like a neutral transition, a neutral crease, and then like do the fun pop of color on the lid or however you want to play with it. So like I think this looks really cool. Can't speak to the quality of the eyeshadows from this brand. Never heard anyone talk about this brand before. But I have been seeing this pop up a lot in my makeup release radar feeds, and it is really cute. Like I could see people being very inspired by this, and you know the nostalgia like hits. You know, I used to make mixed CDs. I'm sure some of my audience has made mixed CDs because I can see my analytics, and we all seem to be a little bit. We're about my age or older, typically. If you're following my channel, we do have some younger people here, but if you're younger, we used to have to download our music and then also put them on CDs so we could listen to them on our Walkman. Anywho, I would never buy this, but it is cute. It's like almost like it's one of those things where I'm like, would I want to buy this just to support the idea? So I hope they do other mixed CDs, like other mixtapes, right? And they like make this like a series, but not too many, right? I think, but I do think that this has some legs, right? Like almost like the Naked palette, but like with less constrictions than the Makeup palette. I do like that it is, I think it's only 8 shades, which I think is like a perfect amount for an eyeshadow palette. So a lot of things I like about this. The color story is not it for me. You know, at this point, an eyeshadow has to have like an amazing color story for me to really want to partake in it, or like very interesting and unique textures for me to be very super interested in it. So that's what this is lacking for me to ever want to pull the trigger on it. But cool concept. I hope that this palette sells well enough for them to like consider doing a second one. And if they start like start making shades that like have beautiful and interesting textures and beautiful and interesting shades that I don't feel like I have, or like are shades that I would use, then I would consider it. Sorry, I'm just gonna throw this up here real quick for us all to go, what? Chapstick and Supreme are collaborating on a cherry flavored lip balm. Supreme, I don't understand the brand. I don't know, like when Pat McGrath collabed with Supreme, I also was supremely confused. Gwen Stefani is dropping a brand. Is it going to be makeup? Here's the thing. My friend Tiffany and I have discussed at like great length ad nauseum about like how Gwen Stefani used to be cool, but now she's like, for lack of a better term, as the children say, chuggy. And so if it's going to be like inspired by her early thousands, you know, solo albums, or even like what she was doing when she was in No Doubt, which was like very cool and unique style, I'm going to go ahead and guess that's very likely not what we're getting. But if it were to be what we were getting, I'd be very interested in that. But you know what? You can, if you're celebrity brands can like kind of miss me at this point. So it's a no from me. Whatever it is, whatever it looks like, even if it looks amazing, I just feel like that's not something that I need to partake in. Hindash has announced the Monochromance palette. And because I love the Beautopsy palette so much, I am very interested in this. This is beautiful and springy, and my instinct is to want to buy this. Now, I will update you all on this. I did not manage to get into the pre-order for the Glaminatrix Nocturnal palette, which was something that I was very interested in buying. I went to see Marina over the weekend, and the palettes went on sale essentially when I was like leaving the house, and I was like, Marina's very important to me, and I was like very, you know, anxiety driven to make sure that I got there on time. Anyway, so losing the opportunity there, and they said they were going to do more pre-orders for it later, but that was it for May. And now I see this, and I okay, so I've been pruning some plans for March for my channel, and I was thinking of maybe doing like a highlight on matte eyeshadows and calling it March Madness. When I don't know why I think that this would be like a fun thing to do, but I was like, I don't know that I've ever like done a lot of matte looks, and so I think that'd be like fun to experiment and challenge myself to do. This would be a beautiful way to do that. I am immediately drawn to the purple and blue at the bottom. Like, I love that. And I do think that these mattes are different enough from the Beautopsy palette to be warranted if you only had Beautopsy and then also wanted this. There's something inspirational about this, and I think because I know the quality of Beautopsy is maybe one of like the best eyeshadow palettes I've ever used, that's what's making me say that I want this. However, stepping aside from that, Hindash has also said that there's something shimmery coming. So I have my eyes peeled for that. So I don't know that I'm going to pull the trigger on this right away. I would hope before this goes on sale that we see whatever those like metal or metallics or shimmers are, because I would like to try those over this and use my budget for those rather than this. But that doesn't mean that this will never see the light of day in my collection, because I do feel like this will see the light of day in my collection, whether it happens at launch or later. But probably for the benefit of my channel, if I should do it when it launches. But we will see. I did do the Makeup Forever HD, the new HD Skin Foundation review, and it did very well for me. And I was able to do that because I got it for free through Influencer before everyone else could buy it. So like that worked in favor. So, you know, I'm saying all of this because I do take these kinds of things into my consideration when I'm looking at new launches, but I'm very interested in this. I think it's beautiful. I think that some of the criticism has been like, a lot of it looks like Beautopsy, but Beautopsy doesn't really look like that. The closest would be that top shade, the Alter Ego. But even those don't look exactly the same as the shades I have in my Beautopsy. And I'm into this 100%. But don't think I'm going to buy it. More interested to see the shimmer, whatever we're doing with the shimmers from Hindash. But not interested in this. So, okay, I'm going to move along because I've kind of dug myself into a little bit of a hole here with my thought process. But I do, she's beautiful. I'm reading this and this seems interesting. So I guess it's going to be a new brand called Half Magic Beauty by Donna Davi. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Who is the makeup artist for Euphoria? Is what I'm gathering here from what Trend Mood has written. I think this is very cool. I think that this will do really well. I'm interested. There is something about Euphoria makeup, which I think a lot of people fail to, I guess, realize. And I'm sure this is not a concern for younger people. But maybe it is. The makeup they do on Euphoria is very specific to the lighting that they do in Euphoria. Meaning that, and I'm not saying that you can't do this during the light of day, but, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't, right? If you are inspired by this makeup and you want to do it, then hell yeah, do it. And I don't think there are any rules to makeup. I'm not trying to gatekeep anything here by saying what I'm saying. It's just, this is going to be very specific makeup for a very specific time and place. And I just don't know that that time and place is going to come up as much as people think. Anyway, very cool. Would love to dabble in it. Don't think that this is something that I would like buy, but I'm happy to see what the makeup looks like when it is launched. I can imagine this is very exciting for people who watch Euphoria. I watched season 1 of Euphoria. I haven't started season 2 yet. The guy I'm seeing and I were talking about how he said he would watch it with me. So I'm looking forward to that. I feel like I'm slowly slouching further and further down. I'm trying to show off my chest here, but you know what? The microphone is really hindering my ability to do so. I wanted to talk about this. I think this is incredibly smart, and I don't know if they're going to keep doing this, but I think they should. Viseart is releasing mini versions of many of their iconic original 12 pans, and I think that is ingenious. I think that is incredibly smart. The $80 price point of the OG palettes is out of a lot of the realm for a lot of people, but Viseart mattes are some of my favorite mattes I've ever used because they are so incredibly easy to work with. They are pigmented, but not too pigmented. They blend like a dream. They blend like you don't even have to do that much work. You like throw them on the eye, it's done. I had the OG cool mattes, and they've released a smaller version of that. If you've ever been interested in it, I highly recommend it. This is why I want to do March Madness, because I remember doing amazing looks with that palette, just that palette. And they were always so beautifully blended. And I think it was more for the eyeshadow because at that point in my makeup application journey, I was not that good at blending. So I think that Viseart mattes really do the work for you. And they're beautiful, and I would highly recommend them. I think that this is a path they should continue on. And while still offering the full-size ones for like working makeup artists, these smaller ones are definitely going to be really nice for consumers who have been curious about the Viseart shadow formula. So I'm very into this. I'm very pro this. I'm not going to buy any of these because I do have the Grand Pro 1X. And so less maybe the editorial brights, which is something that I could buy and that would be filling my Viseart gaps. I don't think I need to do that. Genius. If you have ever wanted to try them, I think this is a really amazing route too. One Size is releasing the Turn Up the Base Beauty Blur Balm. So it comes in 18 shades, $33 each. So I think at some point this would have been something that I was like very interested in. However, I do feel like Patrick Star is kind of a controversial figure in my opinion, so maybe not to everyone, but he has kind of proven himself to be someone I don't really care to support. And I assume these are supposed to be like light coverage, and so that 18 shades could be. And so this should be something that makes me want it, but I am not interested in this at all, really. Like, I think I'd be excited if I got it through like PR to try, or if I got it through influencer. Like, if I got it through some other route, I would probably really enjoy trying it out to test it, because I think all of the things that it promises is nice. But I have a bunch of products that I already like in this kind of realm. So I think I'm good. I'm good on this. I think you're good on this. You probably already have a BB cream that you enjoy. So I don't know what you think this would add. And if you don't, maybe this wouldn't be the first one I would suggest to you either. So I don't know. That's that. That's how I feel about that. Nothing makes me want to throw up more than this Fenty Cookies and Clean Detox face mask. I just don't like the look of it. It looks sus. Now, I thought initially when I saw it that it was like a scrub, but I don't think that is the case. But again, I don't like the look of it. Sure don't. Too Faced is revealed their Sunset Stripped collection, but can we please look at this Born This Way Sunset Stripped palette? It looks just like the Born This Way palette, and kind of like the teddy bear palette, the teddy bear palette. Yeah, no, but also like just to Too Faced in general, no, except for the concealer. The Born This Way concealer is she's that girl. Okay, we like her. Unfortunately, big fan of her, actually, quite honestly. But this palette, no. I don't even think we need to spend that much time on it. Like, I understand that when I look at it, a lot of people would probably really enjoy the color story. It's neutrals, get good use out of it. But I think at this point, I'm so over the idea and concept of Too Faced eyeshadow palettes that, like, why would I start now? If I never started, like, I never had the experience of, like, trying the chocolate bar palette at its peak, and now why would I imbibe in Too Faced whenever all I've ever heard is how inconsistent they are? So they've done this to themselves, and consider another brand. I have no idea if this is sold out, but worth talking about it. And Angie Nyqvist, I never say it right, worked with Oden's Eye to release the Hela palette. It's gorgeous. There's a lot of things about this that I think are beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and assume that this is sold out, but I haven't looked. Now, like I said, I did not get my hands on the Nocturnal palette, so I thought maybe this would be something that I would like to try in lieu of that. I have never tried Oden's Eye. It is like a brand that's on my list. Actually, I have been thinking, let me look. It's still available. I'm not going to make that decision here on camera, but I'm thinking about it because I had intentions of buying the Glaminatrix palette, and I feel like, not that I need to spend money, but I do feel like I don't have anything to review other than I need to finally finish my Intensifies review from Pat McGrath, but that's not a new product, so I don't think anyone's like waiting on bated breath for my review, but that's something that I have a script for. But anyway, I think this is gorgeous. It's green. It's beautiful. It's my color story. My friend Chloe Tilden sent this to me on Instagram and said, you? And honestly, yeah, it's like a little, so it reminds me of the Flower Punk collection from Kaleidos. It has but it has a little bit more. And I think that's kind of beautiful, and love the look of the shimmers. And Oden's Eye, as I said, is on my to try list. So this actually this could be the one. So still thinking about it. When I'm done filming, I'm gonna take a deeper look into what's going on. But beautiful palette, beautiful concept, beautiful. It's beautiful. Okay, that might happen. I bought it. Stay tuned. Will they get it? Will they won't? Charlotte Tilbury is coming to Ulta. Now, this has been an ongoing discussion if you're new here, but with Chanel, Fenty, and Charlotte Tilbury now also selling at Ulta, I think, and I've kind of spoken out of turn. I'm going to try to speak for the American market only. I think this is bad news for America Sephora. Sounds like in other countries, their Sephoras have a lot of brands that they are unable to get at other stores in their country. But with Charlotte Tilbury not jumping ship, obviously, it sounds like they're going to be sold at both. But everyone prefers to shop. Like, it does seem in mass that a lot of people in the United States prefer to shop at Ulta because it's hands off and they like the reward system better. And I just think this is continual bad news for United States Sephora. I'm not gonna belabor that anymore because we talked about it when I talked about Chanel, and then also when Fenty Beauty jumped over to Ulta as well. It's something. It's like, you know. That's it for Trend Mood. I'm going to check out a couple of my other websites, but I'm going to check out Beauty News to see if they have anything that I might be interested in. Lethal Cosmetics released a Nightflower collection, and it's like a beautiful like purple indigo blue palette. I need purple eyeshadow like I need a hole in my head. I did do a purple look for the Marina concert because I wore a purple jumpsuit and I wanted it to be very matchy-matchy. This is really pretty. Like, I think that the color story is inspired. It looks like they also have some like highlighters and face products coming out. It is pretty, and I like purple. I really do. Well, I think that Lethal is really did something here. This is not what's going to... Well, I've already tried Lethal because I do have the Lethal is Dead palette from Teresa is Dead and Lethal. I do want to try Lethal again. That color story is not my favorite, but I like the quality of the eyeshadows. I just think that the colors are like not something that I'm going to be using regularly, and I haven't since I got it. So that's something that I should have considered. But that was before I did my no-buy experience. So not my Lethal palette. I think I might at some point build my own Lethal palette and try to make my own color story. That's like definitely something I could see myself doing in the future. But as of right now, I think Lethal and I will proudly watch from afar like a cool mom, but not partake. I'm gonna quickly check makeup release radar. There was something that already sold out that I thought was really beautiful, but I just would like to shout it out here because I've actually have brought some things to the forefront from this brand a couple of times, and so why not? So it's from Tammy Tenuka, which I believe is an Etsy makeup brand. It is the Black Glove eyeshadow palette. This, sold out. But honestly, if this were to come back in stock, I would buy money. I would put my money where my mouth is and buy this right away. Because after I realized that the eyeshadow palette from Glaminatrix had sold out, I saw this and I was like, I will just buy that instead. This. So Kaleidos released their like smoky eye situation. And I think I talked about that. It was sneak peeked in my last time I did a Critical Sass. This is the smoky palette of my dreams. This is like taking something, running with it, making it more interesting than you thought it could be. Like, that is this. This is like, ooh, it's so good. It's so good. This brand I've talked about a couple times in anti-hauls and makeup release videos. All of their releases are interesting enough to make me pause for a second and go, ooh, is that something that I want? This could have been it, but it is also sold out. I'm just slacking. I've been busy living my life. My life has been going pretty well these days. Lots of good personal things happening in my life that are unrelated to my YouTube channel. And so I just have been focused on that instead of makeup releases. But this is something that I saw the Glaminatrix one sold out and I was like, ooh, I'll buy this in lieu of that. And now we're down to Oden's Eye, which is not a bad third choice. It's just like, that's like, oh man, either one of the other two I would have been much more excited to try. But again, haven't decided on the Oden's Eye, but maybe. Let me know in the comments down below whether or not I should buy the Oden's Eye palette. Honestly, I will make that decision ultimately and truly. But the thing and this was true with the Glaminatrix Nocturnal palette. I love that grungy green, and I have a lot of it in my collection as it is. So is there ever a time where I would like need the palette from Oden's eye. No, because I could probably easily dupe it. But I do want to try more formulas, and I do kind of want to like get some things out of my collection too, you know, like bring in some new grungy palettes, maybe purge some old grungy palettes and some declutters. So like it's not for naught, like I do just want to try the quality of the eyeshadow too. But I need eyeshadow, like I need a hole in my head, and I really, really am trying to keep in mind that like I don't want my collection to be out of control. However, now I do have a budget that I can play with, and that doesn't mean I need to spend it either, and I also need to keep that in mind. So doing some light checking of myself in this video as well. I think that I'm going to wrap all of this up here and now. I have talked a lot. I also did a video for my patrons. That should be up already. Patrons, I'm prioritizing getting that video edited and posted for you, where I take makeup brushes that I already own versus the Sonia G Fusion brushes that I have and see how things compare. Can you tell which side of my face was done with which? Because that's a thing that happened in real time. So if you want to check that out, it's on my Patreon exclusive. But there will be a review of the Sonia G brushes in the future, like an in-depth thorough review coming to this platform, but not right now. My patrons get an exclusive on that. So check out my Patreon if you are interested in that. Thank you so much for watching in general. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, go ahead and subscribe if you enjoyed spending time with me. I mean, if you made it this far, you clearly liked something about me. And go ahead and like this video before you head on out. Finally, my podcast Recollect comes out every Wednesday. It's a Spotify exclusive podcast, which we're not thrilled about. However, we are a music-based podcast, so it's the only way for us to legally use the music is through using Spotify to produce our podcast. So go ahead and check that out. It's a lot of fun. We giggle and tee-hee-hee. And make sure you're following that Instagram so you can vote bop or stop on all the songs we discussed that week. We would love to have you there. Also, if you were interested in following me personally on Instagram, that's linked down below, as well as all of the things that I have wearing on my face today. I think that's all of the spiel that I have, and that's all the spiel I have left. So just remember to follow your hote, and you will find me. I will see you in the next video. Bye, friends.